Fast from Team Engage here bringing you in.
Fast from Team Engage. Hello YouTube, it's Fast from Team Engage bringing you another deck profile. This is my second one now in as many months, which is a rarity for everyone. We won't mention comments. So this is a deck that I have frustrated Mike with, and Aaron has tasted it this morning / afternoon, and you'll see, I can't even get the times of the day right even when I don't do the entrance.
You nearly didn't get Mike's name right. I saw your face squint. It was like, who's that?
Yeah,
like,
that.
I want to refer to him as Dick after the conversation that we've had just now, but we won't.
I had to change my deck just to clarify, not changing the deck, change my playstyle to counter this bloody deck.
It's beautiful. So yeah, it's something that's out and about at the moment in Japan, but
is it?
Yeah.
Whoa, you didn't tell me this. You said you came up with it yourself.
No, Japan has got this. I've modified it to be me.
Okay.
There are different aspects of it.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me which bit's Japan and which bit's not.
Okay, so Japan is the starting Vanguard.
That's not a starting Vanguard.
Or the finishing Vanguard. Main Vanguard.
Starting Vanguard.
So in Japan, they start at grade 3.
Vanguard.
That's
Yeah.
broke.
This is the main point of the Vanguard. It is the very old duo stage.
Iori!
Iori.
Iori, where are you? He should be here!
Right there. So basically this card has got two different skills. One is got this weird little symbol there that some people may recognise from back in the day. Limit Break 4? So yeah, general skill of the card is that you Soul Blast 1 and Persona discard itself. You return a card from your field to your hand. You then search your deck for 2 copies of the same theme. Add them to hand. Simple as that. So it's kind of like a discard one to
hashtag
add.
always has it.
Hashtag reasons. Yeah, so it's got another skill which no one ever freaking uses, but hey ho, it's Christmas. It's Counterblast 2 duo cards and it gains 5k.
Oh my god. Right.
Yeah, that one's completely unrestricted and is an act skill.
I'm going to channel Adam as Lord.
Oh yeah, and Lord.
Oh my god. You did that, Adam.
And Lord, because specifically that's not a ruling within the actual card fight itself at the moment.
Unless you're playing Glendy.
Yes, Glendy is different because Glendy's reasons. Yeah, so there's 4 of that, and then basically...
Does it count to Numatama as well when you dominate the Vanguard? Or do you hear something like that when you have to... Because you don't...
Yes, it does.
Because I can't attack your field because you've got a Lord Vanguard. I can't dominate
No,
your
way
Vanguard.
around. Well, it depends. If it's a Lord Vanguard,
Yeah.
then you can't...
I can't Soul
attack
Blast
it.
2...
Yeah.
No, you can't dominate it, Aaron. You can't attack with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So I can't Soul Blast 2, take control of your Vanguard, attack all your rear guards.
So you lose your twin drive.
So I just discard one for no
Because you
reason.
own rear guards that aren't Bermuda.
I love this card even more now in this deck in general. So
Yeah.
you've got that. The other option, now this is the one where it's semi-Japan, semi-not Japan. You've got my other Vanguard. I play one of the old Miracle Voice Loris. So Miracle Voice Loris is Harmony... ... So just in the old school days, if you've got Generation Break 2, if you put it into Harmony, it gets K and you get to add, or it gets crit and you get to add 5k to 2 units. And its on stride skill is Counterblast 1, return a card to hand and draw a card. Japan, some people are using the Shoshu Tsuruya. Yeah, just because it's the free stuff happens with clear field. So you've got those 2 there. So that's the main point of the deck. That is your main target and ride. That is just there as a secondary backup Vanguard just to allow to get the additional draw power, which this deck kind of requires. So because there is one specific Vanguard you want, I am using a card that people may remember as Heat Elemental. Wah! So it's got a beautiful skill. So Grey Elemental cards, just to add with the Lord thing, they count as all clans or races.
I want to be approved with this deck because I just wanted Bois to be meta.
So yeah, Bois is the question mark. Some people in Japan play it, some people don't.
Okay.
Okay. I heavily love it because it's got the skill of on hit, you retire it and you search for a
limit break card.
Yep. Limit break card. It has to hit Vanguard, and that's pretty much it. So that allows me to search out that quite easily. And because I'm playing such a low number of grade 3s, it's even better because it then allows me, after it's already found what it needs to find, discard fodder for strides. Double thumbs up for that. Other grade 2s that are in play is one of the new one. It's Duo Creamy Caramel or Caramel, depending on your pronunciation. Cornet. So she's got an interesting skill. It is not restricted by anything in regards to GB or limit break, but when she's called to the field, if you've got Duo Vanguard, it's plus 2k. Then if you can show and reveal 3 of the same card name, it gets with Duo, it gets an additional 5k. So basically 16 on its own, which isn't too bad. And then another card, or one of the other cards in there, is basically the Blue Marine Tamus. So she is very, very similar to another card that I'll show in a second, and it is Counterblast 1. When it's returned to hand, Counterblast 1, and draw a card. If you can then reveal 3 of her, you unflip one. So it's basically, if you've got 3 in hand and you can return it to hand, it's a free draw. Which, ironically, is exactly the same as one of the Grade 1 cards that we could play, which is Peace. It's basically the Grade 1 equivalent of exactly the same card, exactly the same skill, exactly the sameness. Moving on with this, you're seeing where the kind of ness is. That you go, Iori, one of those two, you get your 3 cards and you start being able to chain off some effects. Because Iori's first skill is a limit break based card, I play 3 of the limit break removers. This is the fast part of it rather than the Japan part. Japan plays the Cray Elemental card of when it's called Counterblast 1, and on the 4th attack or more, you've got a Counterblast to attack.
Your opponent does. Or
Yeah.
both people.
I think it's opponent. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's the opponent does, but it's generally there to slow down the pace. Because the idea of this deck is you need a bit of time to prep. That card allows you to just slow things down a bit and stops the opponent doing some bits. Other card that I'll explain in a bit more detail in a minute is your Perfect Guard. So out of all the Perfect Guards in the world, I've chosen to use 4 SP Tino, Shosho Tino. She's got the skill of when another card is returned to your deck from your field, you can Counterblast 1, put a copy of her from your drop zone into the bottom of the deck, and then you add a copy of her from the drop zone to your hand. So if you've got 2 in there, it's basically Counterblast 1, put 1 to the bottom, 1 to your hand. Helps with the recycling side of things. And then obviously you've got quite a lot of resourcing going in theory, because you're counterblasting there and there if you can't get them for free. The other card that I play to finish off my Grade 1s is Cray Elemental Tia. So this is an old school card. It's a 6k card that is Soul Blast 2, and you unflip or countercharge equal to the number of face-up Cray Elementals that you have in your G-Zone. Okay, so that's pretty much the baseline of where you're going with it. I am now going to go with triggers. So first is Shosho Petite. So 4 draw. Shosho draw, it's the Shosho version of Fundy, which is Intersoul plus 3k. It's there because you need a bit of draw power in this deck to make sure that you get all the pieces. Another one is Shosho Raquel. Main reason I'm going for the Shosho triggers if I can is because not too many people know, but the Shosho Vanguard or Shosho PG, you have to discard a Shosho. You cannot discard whatever you want for its skill. So, true story. Hashtag yellow swag.
So many hashtags.
Yep. Hashtag everything. Right. Other card that's going in there is the Love Joker Shalom, which is the crit trigger for duos. When another card is returned to hand, you can Counterblast 1, pop that one back into the deck, and you search out a copy of the card that was returned to hand. So it basically allows you to help search out your 2 main pieces here. Other card that is basically what makes Tino kick off and is basically where it starts to get fun is Dream Dreamer or Dreamer Dreamer Kirk, which is your stand trigger. It's got the GB1 Harmony skill of when it boosts another unit, you can return that to the top of your deck, return 1 card to your hand, and call 1. And that's pretty much it. You then shuffle your deck afterwards. And then to finish off, the starting Vanguard and the multiple copies is Darling.
Darling.
There we go. Oh, I forgot what she was called. It's Lover's Super Darling. So basically, Darling's skill is one that is from way, way back. If you watch some of the old Vanguardian podcast videos, you will know what that card does. It is move it into Soul and return copies of cards from your field with the same name back to your hand. So generalization there is to do a bit of field clearing, and it also allows you to trigger the heck out of these things. So that's the main board of itself, and you can see basically where the general combination is. You're going there, draw a load of cards from hand. So that's the starting point. You just want to draw quite a lot of cards, have quite a lot of guard, and it helps counter quite a lot of things. So moving on to the other aspect of things is what G-Zone I am using. And once again, slight differences from our Japan friends, but also more entertaining than anything else.
So apart from the things that you pointed out,
Yep.
the entire deck and the concept is from Japan.
Not yes. Yes,
You
entirely.
bastard! That was me thinking he come up with
There's
some
the entire-
genius scenario. He never told us that.
This is why you two
I was like,
guys fail.
where the hell has this come from? This random Faz idea.
Faz looks at Japan. Faz looks all over the world. Doesn't only go for what's topped. Goes into the little niches of what's been doing
Well,
in
it's
Japan.
Bermuda, it
finals.
went top, so you can't look there.
No. I'm sorry. How did you fare against this pitch?
Depends what I was using. Let's be honest.
So yeah, I'm going to go into the G zone, and I'll finish off what the words and everything is going into. So G zone, I play 3 Ange. And the reason I play 3 Ange in comparison to the 2 is that she is absolutely a babe when abusing those 2. So Ange's skill is Gen 2 basically, Counterblast 2, return cards on your and your opponent's field. She gets 5k per card returned. If you return 5, draw a card. If you return 7, she gets an extra drive check. So basically, if you think about it, you play either 3 of those or 3 of those, plus the returning skill. So you're basically drawing 4 or 5 cards per turn continuously with that. So you do that a couple of times. It then allows you to move forwards. The other card. Sorry, yeah, they are 3 SPs, and just to make sure that everything else is SP, you opt for the SP rate. Grade 4.
I don't think it affects the deck though, it has that information.
Just makes you feel better. Just makes you feel better that there is a lot of SPs, including that SP limit break remover. Anyway, yeah, so the ret skill is Counterblast 1, discard 3 cards with the same name that a duo, and she restands with -1 drive check.
Nope, she restrides.
Restrides, sorry.
That will be key at some point, I know it.
What, restriding?
I want a duo stride break, then that will make sense to be a restriding
That would be
restander.
what? On stride, if you stride. Oh my god.
No, it's,
Just
just
search.
activate Harmony again, surely is what you use it for.
Duos don't use harmony.
But that's what it's there for.
It's there as an option.
It's meant to be able
So,
to harmonise with the whatever
I
behind
don't
it.
know.
Then-
I want a duo stride break.
bit of filler in here is just basically, well, it's not filler. Final Priscilla, which is absolutely hilarious.
Fuck Priscilla. Lost to Priscilla!
You lost it. You didn't lose to Priscilla. You lost to the fact that you. I'll show you the combat in a minute, but she is hilarious because it's just whittle your deck down to a certain extent. My random free for all is if I don't G guard and then go into Ange, I normally go for a spinner because it's Soul Blast return 2 and it allows me to do a bit more drawing power. Moving on to legitimately used cards, it's. I know I sound horrible for it. G-Zone is going to be one of the Puffy, which is if you've got 3 more cards in hand, becomes basically a 2k shield. Blessed Sparkle Sandy is my main G-Guard because she is hilarious because this deck, basically you then go, she's a 15k shield, nope, sorry,
It's 5.
35.
Yeah.
She basically gets 5k for every 2 cards in hand. So as you've seen there's a lot of draw power going on. There's a lot of things happening. She's generally in the 30 to 50
on
range.
average, it's 30 to 50 guard.
Yeah, 30 to 50 guard without even having to contemplate it. You're looking at having between 14 and 20-ish cards in hand by the time you strode second time.
It's just not fair, pal.
So yeah, I know it's not fair. Basically, now I did mention tier earlier. It gets to unflip for every Grey Elemental in your G-Zone, so this is where the G-Zone comes into play. I don't really ride these cards, but Ange flips something, and Sadie flips something. So I've got 2 Dindril, just in case, bit of resisting for fun, and it's one of the better ones out there. You've got the option of, with Japan, they go for the ditch and draw, but I prefer resisting just in case I want to actually keep one of the cards that I've got in there. And then 2 other cards, don't really need them. It's Blizzard and Seabreeze, mainly used for the Ange combo. So the whole idea of this deck is basing around 1, 2 and theoretically 3 cards. What you end up doing is getting to the point where your hand will consist of either 3 Tamus and 3 Peace, maybe more, a couple of Caramels, and then your deck, because of the skills, generally gets whittled down to a few of the Dreamer Cooks and constantly reusing your perfect guards. So then what you end up doing is going skill.
I'm just going to help you by clearing off.
Thank you very much. So bring it down, because the deck is actually a legitimate part of this. So the idea is that you've amalgamated a giant hand, and it's not even mucking about, because this does turn out to be a hand at times of that size. And you go, right then, cool. Cool. Harmony! Show 3, 16. Harmony! Show 3, 16. Just chuck that over there for fun. There's drop zone legitimately. And then you go 16 at your Vanguard because it's fun. 20 at your Vanguard because it's fun. That gets returned to deck. You then counterblast. 1 Tino for the bottom, 1 for my hand.
My hands off.
Call something, yep, so that'll be the hand for argument's sake. Call, bounce, harmony, show 3 again. Bosh bosh. That goes, and again, counterblast, get the other Tino. So, when I started off this combo, my deck was completely empty. Okay, so bearing in mind I had no cards left in my deck. I've finished that off. Not only does that give me 2 Tino, but I've now got 4 cards in my deck, which we know 2 of them are stand. Now the sheer fact that the stand regurgitates itself, which means after you do your Priscilla skill of triple drive, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, What a shame. Bear with me a moment as GBA activates. Bosh, 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 bosh. Harmony, harmony. Everything gets 5k. You've still got those in your hand. So you're then going 21. Bear.
30.
30.
It's 20 last time, so it's 30 now.
30. Bounce.
Gets 5.
Gets 5. So that's now 9k and 16.
26, 25.
25.
Same, it's not
Bounce.
chaos, is it?
Again. And 16. Again. And once again, how many cards have I got in my deck?
3.
So I can still draw. And that is the point, that you literally just draw your hand out using a combination of Peace, Thamus, Angie by getting the additional drive checks and getting the additional draw power. And then you get to the point where your hand is consisting of mainly perfect guards, or your deck consists of mainly perfect guards and stands that you can recycle to your heart's content. Yes, it does involve a bit of management with resources, but thanks to the free flips that you're getting off of the, what I like to discard as pointless cards, because those 4 cards you'll probably never really need in the actual deck itself. They're just there to mean it's Soul Blast 2 and unflip between 2 and 4 cards at a turn. So yeah, thank you Japan. Much appreciation on the general idea. Slightly fazzed out. But apart from that, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. What else do we want them to do?
And we'll see you guys later this week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys probably in another month's time. Alright, Will. There's other things that go on without me on this channel. Alright, peace and love guys. Bye-bye.